Today, we're going to be talking about new construction. Stay tuned. So I love new construction and I love representing buyers on new construction purchases. But buying a resale house and buying a new construction house is a very different process. So today, I'm going to give you some tips on how to make that new construction purchase a successful one. The new construction process that I'll be talking about in this video is referring to a larger builder who is building out a neighborhood or building out a big portion of a neighborhood. This is in contrast to a smaller builder who might be building a single custom home for you. Those are two very different processes. All right, so tip number one, use a realtor. Yes, us realtors represent new construction buyers all the time, but that can be confusing for buyers because they go into a model home, they meet the sales rep, and that sales rep can answer all the questions that they have in order to purchase. But those sales reps work for the builder, and you should want a representative working for you, especially if you find a realtor that's familiar with the new construction process. Their advice can be very, very valuable. If it's possible, pick your realtor prior to going to model homes. Why? Because if you register with the builder out of a model home, you fill out that little card that they give you when you first walk in and you don't indicate that you have a realtor, then they might not want to work with that realtor later on in the process. Now, most builders are very happy to work with real estate agents, but it can be very frustrating for a builder if you as a buyer coming in 3 different times, picking out floor plans and getting close to writing a contract, and then all of a sudden you bring a realtor in at the last minute. And from your realtor's perspective, we don't want to come in at the last minute either. Our advice is valuable throughout the entire process. So let us start from the very beginning. So here's what I tell my buyers. If you happen to go to a model home without me, which happens all the time because buyers go out on the weekends and they have 30 minutes to kill. So they run into a model home, right? Well, just tell the sales rep that you're working with a real estate agent. If you happen to have one of your realtor's cards, then give them that card. If you don't, then just write down their name. And if you're on one of those house hunting trips and you find a house that you absolutely love, call your real estate agent right away and talk about the next steps. The sales rep may make you feel like you have to act now or sign a contract right now because another buyer is coming in an hour to put down a down payment or put down a deposit. Stop, take a breath, call your agent. That's what we're there for, right? So tip number 2 is understanding the different costs in new construction purchases. You may see that sign on the outside that says homes starting at $200,000. Then you go into the model home and everything that's available is closer to $300,000. Why does that happen? Well, that's because the advertised price is the lowest price base model with no upgrades and no lot premium. So let's break down the different costs you may have with a new construction home. First, you have the base price of that house. That's the cost of the floor plan that you choose with no upgrades at all. The next cost you may have is the lot premium. Now, this is not an option on every lot in the neighborhood. This is only for lots that the builder considers better than other lots. So say the neighborhood that you're buying in has a pond. Those lots that are located on the pond are probably going to have a lot premium. The better the lot, the higher the premium. If the lot that you pick doesn't have a premium, that's probably because it isn't as desirable as the other lot may be. So maybe this lot that you like backs up to another home or backs up to a road. So as you're talking to builders, make sure you ask them about the lot premium for the lot that you like. Now, construction options. Does your builder offer a bonus room option or an extended master bathroom or turning the living room into a den? These would be examples of construction options, not to be confused with cosmetic options, which are picking out the color of your cabinets and things like that. And we'll talk about that next. Every builder has different construction options, and these costs could really add up. However, adding some of the construction options during construction is typically the least expensive time to do it. So you may not need that fourth bedroom right now, but if you decide to have that second baby, adding that bedroom on during construction will be a lot cheaper than doing an addition 5 years down the road. Now, let's talk cosmetic options. These are the fun ones. Going to the design center can be the highlight of the building process, but you can also get a big dose of sticker shock. These costs add up quickly. So my advice to buyers is to set a budget and stick to it. There are a lot of things offered by the builder that can be done later at a cheaper price. The two things that I tell my buyers to focus on are flooring and the kitchen. Those things are very expensive and inconvenient to remodel, so it's best to have those costs rolled into the mortgage. As long as it doesn't put you over your monthly budget, I think you'll be fine. So, all of these costs together will determine the final price of your home. Tip number 3 is negotiating with builders. Builders don't like to negotiate their base prices. I mean, they have to keep these prices similar because they're selling a bunch of the same model. As long as people are buying their homes, they have no reason to negotiate the prices. However, the builders are more receptive to negotiating things or credits. So instead of asking for a $10,000 reduction in the price of the home, have your agent ask for $10,000 in credit towards the design center or towards closing costs. Not every builder is going to give you credit, though. They might not want to negotiate at all. It completely depends on how popular their product is, but it does not hurt to ask. Now, if you happen to be interested in an inventory home, that's one that's already built by the builder or mostly built by the builder, then that might give you a better chance of negotiating price because that house is almost ready to go and the builder doesn't want to have to pay for the holding cost of that house. So again, they may not be willing to go down too much in price, but you may have a better chance of negotiating with the builder on an inventory home than on a pre-construction one. All right. Now let's go to tip number 4, closing costs on new construction homes. I'll start this segment off by saying every builder is different, but no matter which builder you're using, make sure you pay very close attention to the closing costs. Most large builders in the state of Georgia push all the closing costs except for the real estate fees and some other fees over to the buyer side. This could be several $1,000s that you would not be paying in closing costs if you were buying a resale home. Now, before you get annoyed or get discouraged about that, just think of it like this. Builders offer a monetary incentive, like a rebate. If you use their preferred lender, then this rebate can often cover the increase in closing costs. But be smart about it and understand that builders will use this rebate as a big incentive when in actuality, it really just covers the cost that you wouldn't have to pay if you bought a resale house. So what about that preferred lender that they want you to use? Should you use them? Most of my buyers actually do use the preferred lender because they want that rebate. That rebate can be very significant. However, make sure you do your due diligence and talk to other lenders and make sure that the interest rate that they're offering you is a fair one. A lender may be able to rebate you on an amount similar to what the builder is offering, and they can give you a lower interest rate. So it never hurts to ask and do your homework when it comes to lenders. Now, tip number 5, inspections. Yes, you can do home inspections on new construction homes. If you're building a house from scratch, I recommend 2 inspections, 2 different ones. One is the pre-drywall inspection. This is when an inspector comes in and looks at everything on the inside of your house. You don't get to see that stuff once the drywall gets up. That's the most important inspection during the building process. I also recommend an inspection just before closing to check and make sure that everything is functioning correctly. This would function just like a regular home inspection functions, where you get a report, you pass the report on to the builder so that they can add it to the punch list, and everything is perfect when you close on your home. So a lot of people don't do inspections prior to closing because the builder will offer a wonderful warranty that pretty much covers anything that happens after you move in. That's a great feature in new home construction, but it is a lot easier to deal with issues prior to closing than it is to deal with them after closing. So get that home inspection. Tip number 6 is construction time. Expectations of your builder wanting to have that build done in 4 months, sometimes that's not reality. Reality is that they never exactly know how long it's going to take to finish that build. Builders have to deal with so many things. They have to deal with weather. They have to deal with the materials being supplied on time. They have to deal with contractors doing their job right, inspections, permits, so much more. It's a lot to manage for them, and it doesn't always go smoothly. So trust me, no builder wants to take longer to close on a house than it absolutely needs to take. They don't make money until they close on the house. They want you to close just as much as you do. There are just some things that are out of their control though. So what that means is if you're selling your current house or you have a lease that's going to expire close to the time that your house is supposed to close, make sure you look into a backup plan just in case there's a delay. So for example, if you're renting, talk to your landlord about possibly going month to month if you need to. If you're selling your house, see if the buyer will be willing to extend the closing or lease the house back to you. If neither of those things are an option, then check into corporate housing and put all of your stuff in storage. I know, it's a giant pain, but closing delays in new construction happens so frequently that you really need to have a plan. So if you absolutely cannot have your delay or have a delay in your move-in date, then look for an inventory home. It's going to be a lot easier to pinpoint a close date on a house that's almost done. I hope this information helps anybody out there who's looking to buy a new construction home. And if you're looking to buy a new construction in the Atlanta area, give me a call. I would love to help you step by step in the process. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. We post new videos every Wednesday, and we would love to have you become a part of our community. And when you're ready to buy, sell, lease, or invest, maybe you'll just consider making it a done deal. See you next week.